My name is Paul Barron. This is TechPath. We're going to jump into it today with a brand called Lincoln. You guys recognize these? I mean, come on. This is an American icon brand that is getting ready to really kind of move into a new space, and that is the EV production. They are producing a product called the Lincoln Zephyr Reflection, which is made specifically for China. It also has launched with a new ID system. Basically, they call it the Lincoln ID. It's a single ID that enables customers to log in across Lincoln's digital ecosystem. That's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's kind of maybe like a Tesla ecosystem where your car is, or your phone is your key, your phone app also interfaces to your online app, keeps track of all your services. Maybe that's it, or maybe they have something else in mind in terms of how the vehicle will ID with you, whether it's biometrics or visual. That's going to be interesting. We'll take a look at how that kind of develops over time. Lincoln Zephyr also comes out with a teaser model, which is basically serving to preview the latest expression of Lincoln's quiet flight product DNA, which is hints of the future. Basically a philosophy and signature features ahead of the production model for later this year. So they've got this theory of what their quiet flight is going to be. And they don't really release much about it. It looks interesting. The car itself has kind of a fairly modern look. It does have a little bit more of a younger kind of slant to it in terms of the target audience potentially. So how does it connect with them? It looks like it could kind of go in that direction, but a lot of what Lincoln has been doing over the past few years has been designing their cars, on the MK series to kind of go into that direction, and that is getting the younger buyer. So that was kind of, I feel like, an already moving in that direction. The fact that it's moving into obviously the EV will be a big one. Lincoln Embrace and Farewell feature. This is Lincoln Star. Lights up. It has kind of a welcome mat on the, is interesting. What this dynamic effect. You're going to see a lot of lights and kind of just what I think will be a lot of show and no go in this vehicle is my concern. It is a coast-to-coast screen, meaning full size, composed of digital cluster, panoramic center screen, and an ultra-wide smart display where both sides can be adjusted independently. This kind of goes the way of the Mercedes, which has gone with a coast-to-coast display, full display with underneath one glass where you have multiple displays kind of showing and giving you interface capability on each one. So I like that in the sense of design. I'm still questioning whether or not that design is one that's going to work over time because of the problem that you're going to have with maintenance and potentially failure, as opposed to what we've seen with mostly the minimalist design of Tesla, which has gone into almost like a kit car. That's what my wife calls the Tesla here recently, is a kit car, is because it feels like everything is just like bolt on. You just pop, pop, pop. I kind of feel that way too, but it's really a cool kit car. So, got to get that Tesla kiss ass going there. All right, back to Lincoln. Nearly all keys in the console are co-opted with smart surfaces, an innovative digital design where the key icon only appears when activated. So again, kind of that central console of how the vehicle is going to identify that you're in it, and it's going to let you go somewhere. Because remember, this thing obviously doesn't start, but you don't necessarily need an activation, which is something I have really looked at a lot of Mach-E videos and reviews, and I feel like it's still the old style, which is when you think of Detroit, the old style of starting and stopping a vehicle, of you need that start button, kind of things, and you really don't. I mean, with an EV, it should be just get in. Really, you should just get in. You don't even need a stalk in most cases. It knows you're in the car, whether it's by spatial or weight. It knows it needs to go drive. It's got a camera sitting in front of you. Why does it need to know that you want to go backwards? Because it knows you can't go forwards. Of course, those kind of things will all be addressed with AI, which, by the way, we've done some really good stuff on our AI videos we got coming out. I don't know if it's going to come before this video or after. Make sure to check out the one on Tesla's AI. It's a big one. Anyway, back to this coast-to-coast screen. Panoramic. It's going to be giving you kind of, I wonder if they're going to use this as an entertainment center and how much of this is going to be integrated in. That'll be fun to see. Also, Lincoln's Constellation feature, which is 3 exclusive themes, normal, sport, and zen. each presenting their own take on starry cosmos, allowing customers to choose the interior theme that reflects their mood during the journey. It's almost like what you see in some of the high-end super luxury cars, you know, from the Bentleys to the Maybachs and all those, where you've got those overhead and interior lights that kind of change the entire dynamic around what your cabin feels like. It's no more just the ambient lighting, which is, you know, cool enough in itself. But at this level, I think this is going to kind of take it to a whole nother level. Remember, though, people, this is the Shanghai Auto Show. The Shanghai Auto Show, everybody's showing off the latest, greatest, you know, craziest things, most crackpot design themes that you can come out with. They put it right there at the Shanghai Auto Show. And the likelihood of many of these things making it to production vehicles is probably pretty low. Here's the big point of this particular topic, and that is Lincoln is moving into EVs. Lincoln is trying to move up into that category. Here's the thing that I look at when I think about Lincoln is that there is a certain amount of the population in the 50 plus that are lovers of Lincoln. And though I feel like Lincoln has an opportunity to get to the younger crowd, I feel like Lincoln is actually your granddaddy's EV company. This is the company that I think could, if they did it right, could approach it in a way that they could actually crack into the boomers and help shift the boomers, which I think will be a big market for EVs, probably just as big as the millennials. And they have more money so they can pay for a lot of those upselling aspects of something like a Lincoln that really isn't that much different than maybe a Tesla or a, you know, in some cases, let's go to, well, I wouldn't go Lucid because I don't think the boomers are necessarily going to go there. You need a vehicle that kind of falls in that sweet spot for the boomer and the retired individual that is looking to go to the EV route. And I think if Lincoln plays their cards right, they could probably start to really make a move on this. Tesla is a little bit too hip, a little too stylish, and a little too pricey, you know, especially when you get into the Model S. Maybe they could go with the Model 3, sure, and I see a ton of people over 50 driving those Model 3s, man. That's kind of a pretty typical driver. In fact, many people on my own street, all over 50, Model 3s, Model S's. So maybe Lincoln's got to play here. So hopefully Lincoln is on to something, and we will see more releases, because this right now is a little weak on the releases in terms of data, stats, and specs for these cars. The good thing is that they are moving in the right direction. We're going to continue our coverage here on TechPath. And of course, you're watching this now over on the YouTube channel. Make sure and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can get more notifications when we bring out more content. We're going to have a ton of reviews of what is happening over in Shanghai right now, because this is the year for the EV, and we are now seeing the evolution of where we're going to see the automotive industry really in the next decade. It's all starting right here, right now in Shanghai. So stay tuned right here. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget, if you want to hit me up on Twitter, just @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.